Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cinema Flow podcast. I'm your host, Zach Abdulbaki, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. He is the co-writer and director of the new horror comedy action film, They Will Kill You, which follows an ex-convict named Asia Reeves who assumes a new identity to pose as a newly hired housekeeper at a mysterious residential building where she must face off against an evil cult. The film stars one of my favorite actresses, Zazie Beetz, along with Patricia Arquette, Mai Hala, Tom Felton, and Heather Graham. It's an awesome movie. It's super entertaining and it looks amazing on the big screen. You will laugh and scream. It's the type of movie you need to see with an audience. They Will Kill You is currently playing in cinemas around the world, courtesy of Warner Brothers. Now, please welcome to the show the co-writer and director of They Will Kill You, Mr. Kirill Sokolov. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, good. Happy to meet you.
Happy to meet you as well. Thank you for taking the time. As I said, I love this movie so much. I can tell you put so much hard work and passion into it. I'm curious about how this project got started. Where did the idea come from? And how did you make the leap from making films in Russia to now a big Hollywood studio movie?
Probably I will try to answer backwards.
Yeah.
When you like work in different industries, you understand that there is like dream to
Mhm.
try to make a movie in the studio system in Hollywood because it gives you so much resources. And I grew up like watching behind the scenes and Blu-rays with additional materials where like I got idea how to make movies and like when you actually try to do independent movies, you understand that, oh no, you can't afford basically anything you thought how movies are made. So you're like, no, I need to somehow get in. And yeah, and then the story basically around 10 years ago, my wife and I, we rented an apartment in like big 16 floor building and we moved in. And in a week, we understood that we are basically the only two people that are younger than 65. And somehow everyone else are mostly old, lonely ladies. And that was already weird. But then later, I started to do reconstruction on the kitchen and I moved kitchen cabinet and I found a hole in the wall that was leading to my neighbor's apartment. And that's like when we started to have this like running joke that okay, we live inside of a cult, and maybe one morning we'll wake up and there will be people in cloaks and masks, and they would come after us. And we forgot. I totally forgot about it. And later, like 3 years ago, I watched Rosemary's Baby, and if you remember, there was like this closet with like hole in the wall, and I was watching it like, wait a second. I know this apartment. I know what it feels to live in that type of environment. And yes, and I got this. Okay, could be a movie. I pitched it to my friend and co-writer Alex Litviak. He loved it, and we just wrote it. And we wrote it, and then we basically sold it. And Andy and Barbara Muschietti as producers, they read it, they loved it, and that's how it's all happened.
That's awesome. It's such a creative story. And I also love the emotional core of the movie, like the relationship between Asia and
Yeah.
Maria, the two sisters. I'm curious, why did you choose this as the theme? I mean, it's a very universal theme. Everybody has family. But why did you want this to be the emotional core? And also, do you have any brothers and sisters in real
Yeah.
life?
First of all, I have brother. I have younger brother who I love a lot, and we are very close. So that was kind of something I understand about the relationships. But
Great.
and when you have younger brother and you also was a kid, and now you look back how you grew up, and you have a lot of regrets and questions about how you treated your brother. So that kind of like organically came into the movie. But also it's interesting because those two characters, they face a very classic oppressive system. So we have like they face cult, which is a good metaphor to basically how the world operates, and like it's common to every country when you have people with power and money, and you see how they abuse others who can't fight back, and they lure them in and then drain them. And it was very interesting to see how different type of personalities react for the same thing. And you have Mahala character Maria, who kind of tries to find a like way to collaborate and tries to make a deal, and you have Zasi's character Asia, who just like goes against it and fights and doesn't care about any consequences. And in real life, it's basically the same choices we all have, and we in like there were many situations when we choose one or another, and when we kind of try to find for us if it's still okay to me to like make it this deal, or no, I should just like no, try to fight it. And yeah, there is no right answer. It's like depending on situation, both. So it just was interesting to explore how like those type of characters react for the same thing.
Yeah, you did a good job making them different, but also, in an action movie, if you don't care about the characters, then the action will not mean anything. So the reason you care is because you made them so well written. I also love the opening quote of this movie: "When the poor gives to the rich, the devil laughs." It really
Yeah.
sets the theme and the mood correctly. Where did you find this quote, and why was it the correct way to open the movie?
Frankly, first of all, there was like at first there was a different quote by
Mhm.
Hunter Thompson, which said that life is funny. Sometimes you are rich, and sometimes you eat shit and die, which I think fit the tone even more. But we couldn't buy it, we couldn't license it, so I just like tried to find something that has the same intention and same meaning. Yeah, and that is like some Italian philosopher. So.
Yeah. And I like the opening shot with the mannequins. That was
Mhm.
also very cool. And I love the way the title card comes on screen with this with the steam on the mirror in the bathroom. Was that done practically, or did
Yeah,
you see? Oh, okay. Yeah.
frankly, it's combination of both. It's
Uh,
like partly wide shot is practical, and we struggled a lot with that to make it all clear. And then close ups, it's like partly practical, but also on top a lot of visual effects. And I'm very happy about like we were working with Crafty Apes, visual effects company, and Mark Smith, our supervisor. They did an incredible job because we talked from scratch that we will try to push as much as possible. Practically, we used a lot of like real blood rigs and prosthetics and dummies, and so it was very important to when we step into this VFX territory, we'll try to do it so it feels and looks like practically made. And I'm happy because sometimes you can't say difference and you can't tell what's like was how which thing was made.
Yeah, no, that's the best thing is when you cannot tell. It all looks real to me. Well, one more thing with the writing, I feel like people don't appreciate how difficult it is to write a good action movie because within every scene, you basically have to write the main character into a corner and then write them out of it. It's like problem solving every time. And the problem cannot be too easy because then the audience is like, oh, well, that wasn't so hard. But you also can't let the character get stuck because you have to advance the story. So tell me how you wrote so many good action sequences with your co-writer, Alex Litvak, and how you guys constructed all of these.
I mean, we just love action. It's
Yeah.
like it was for us. That was the easiest part because we love it. We watch a lot of movies. We're both movie fans, and it all comes from the basically from the character and from
Hmm.
the emotions you want to give the audience. And as also what was challenging and what was interesting in this story, it as it progresses, we try to change the action tonally and make it different so we have every action set piece would feel and look differently from the previous one, and in best case scenario bigger. And we start with like very grounded brawl, mostly grounded with some kind of elements from all like Japanese movies, because basically Asia is kind of what we find out that she's a samurai almost, right? So we took this like big blood explosions and sprays and everything, but mostly it's a very grounded brawl with no music, with heavy breathing and body falls. And then when we step forward, it's like the story goes in the more crazy direction. So now the scope of the fight goes bigger, and we turn into almost like medieval or Viking kind of fight with her running with fire axe and sending people flying all directions. And then when we move forward and the story really lost this shit and goes like full kind of insane, we step into full anime territory. And the last like fight is like just like inspired by anime. And so yeah, and then it's exciting because also when you deal with action, you understand that basically it's another way to reveal the character. And if your character fights a lot, you understand that you can tell about the character through the fight as much as through the dialogues. So we try to be very specific with what exactly, like basically it was all written in the script, like what exactly she does, what kind of weapons she uses, how like clumsy she is, because she She knows how to fight because she comes from the prison, but she doesn't know techniques. She is not afraid to be beaten. And the opposite, the people who attacks her, they know nothing about how to fight, but they have another strength. So it just was interesting to kind of build it. And if you have a very clear idea of the character, so the fight becomes unique.
Yeah, and like every time there was an amazing sequence, I was like, how are they going to top it to the next one and the next one and keep it fresh for the whole movie? And you did. I want to ask you about the cinematography because I love the way the movie looks, and it really felt like you were trying to maximize the creative potential of every single moment. Like when Zazie and Patricia are standing in the hallway, you don't just cut back and forth with normal coverage. You do like a profile shot, or you do a super wide lens and go down the hall, down the corridor, and go around them. And you have so many great like insert shots and zooms and pans, and there's even a Zolly shot. It all feels very carefully shot listed and planned. So how did you go about crafting the visual look of this movie with your cinematographer? And because there are so many creative choices that enhance the narrative, it's not just to look
Yeah.
cool.
So I mean, I really truly believe that you have a script as a
Hmm.
starting point, then you have your actors and cast who will help you to nail the tone, but then you also the camera could become a character, the sound could become a character, the locations could become a character, and like visual color palette. And so it's always exciting to try to squeeze maximum from scene and to understand like emotion. Like you have a beat and you have a, like for example, serious moment with character talking, and it will be very serious, but then if you just add crash zoom, it immediately like will get some irony and fun in it, right? And it's like immediately helps the tonal shift if you want to do that. So I try to kind of every time just come up from the place, okay, what do I want the audience to feel? And then you just try to create, if it's like a big and powerful moment, if it's small and dramatic moment, if it's a funny moment or epic. So you just like, and depending on that, you work with camera. I very nerdy in preparation. I do a lot of storyboards. Basically, the whole movie was storyboarded. So it's all started from we write a script, then we storyboard everything, each frame. Then I go with storyboards to stunt department, and like DP and production designer. And basically, based on storyboards, we create camera movement, we create the sets. We know, okay, we need these walls to be removed, this kind of thing should go out. And it's like the sets turned into basically Lego. So it could be very like practically used. And then yeah, and then you just like improve it until it's turns into a movie.
Absolutely. And it's like even the insert shots I appreciated because I've heard that those also take time. It's not just like a quick shot. You have to
I
light it.
must tell everything. Like
Yeah.
when you try to, yes, this movie has, first of all, it has a lot of like shots. It's very editorial kind of movie. Every single shot, like it's sometimes easier to go with long takes because it's just like you get more material. When you take a shot, it means you'll have to do them much more. Second thing is like all practical kind of elements, like when you do prosthetics, when you do real blood, it means that every single change takes time. You need to clean it up, you need to recharge it, you need to reattach it. It's like all like incredible. Every camera movement, if it's more complicated, it means you bring a special equipment that will take time or rehearse. So it's you must be very clever in terms of planning, and you must understand that you have resources to make it. And that's why it's going back to your first question, doing studio system. You actually understand that now finally I could afford some time and I could afford some like resources to do it exactly that the way. So it's kind of the visual language becomes so rich.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's a studio movie, but it's not even like the biggest budget in the world. I heard like 20 million,
Yeah.
which I thought it was like 40 or 50 when I
Oh,
saw
thank
it.
you. I
I
mean, that's also you need to be clever. How you that's the biggest compliment to me because I try to be as effective as possible and to use every dollar so you can see it on the screen that there is no money waste, and we like everyone works so hard to make this movie as beautiful and as kind of loud as possible, and I'm very happy that it looks like that.
Yeah, and you know, people always say Hollywood doesn't have new ideas. Well, this is like an original new idea, so
Thank
people
you.
should go watch it. I want to ask you about how the action scenes were done in wide shots because you really get to admire the stunt work and the
Yeah.
fight choreography. It's like John Wick in that way. If I'm not mistaken, it's usually easier to make a stunt look real if you're shooting up close with a shaky camera. So how did you pull off these stunts and make them look real in a wide shot where you can see everybody from head to toe?
It's much easier when you go to close-ups and you can hide a
Mhm.
lot in editing, but also I think it's just a lazy way to do it. And unfortunately, we got used to it so well that it's not exciting. And I think John Wick is amazing franchise that brought back this excitement from just like watching stunt performance in action. And I grew up on the same movies as like guys did, and like I watched like uh, old Hong Kong action movies or samurai movies, and you always see everything. It's always on a wide shots. You see the action, and also what you see real actors doing it, so you believe much more that it's a character actually went there and do that. So it was the idea from the beginning, and Zasi kind of fully believed in it and trained a lot to it. It's like very difficult because she started to train 4 months before actual shooting. Then she months before we step on the set, she came to Cape Town where we shot the movie, and she started to rehearse it with stunt crew. And basically, each fight sequence turned into almost a dance when we know exactly every movement. We know camera movement. We know how long it takes. We kind of with fire, you when you deal with real fire, it's a lot of safety protocol you have to follow. So everyone was rehearsed to perfection. So when we step on the set, you basically just do it. And it was very exciting, but very, very painful and exhausting. And Zasi, especially because she's in every frame of this movie. And she had to do all that herself nonstop. And like from a day after day after day for 2 months run, I'm still kind of can't believe how lucky I was to find her and how incredible, unreal human being she is to pull
Yeah,
that off. Yeah,
she's amazing. I loved her since Deadpool 2. I always wanted to see her as the front and center in a real movie in a like a big Hollywood movie. And I think Jackie Chan said the audience doesn't care how difficult it was on set, whether it was raining or this or that. All they know is good movie or bad movie. So that's the
absolutely.
work ethic. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's true. That's true. And like, you just I always try to make something that will surprise audience, that will excite them, that will show them something they maybe haven't seen. Or so that's kind of that's a cool thing. And when you see the reaction, you understand that all that effort was not for nothing. That's like the best reward you can get.
Yeah, and you mentioned the scene with the axe on fire. That might have been my favorite. And the slow motion when she's gonna cut the table in half is iconic. And like you said, it's indoors and everyone's on fire, so it's a lot of challenges there. And I like how after you made the fire alarm go off and had rain, and that really helped the emotional moment with Asia and
Yeah.
Maria. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. That's absolutely right. That was intention.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
was a yeah.
yeah, sorry.
No, it's just very cool, and it's again narrative choice, like creative choices for the visuals helping the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's also I think the first big action sequence where someone shoots the shotgun through the mattress and then all the confetti is floating. I was wondering, how did you do that? Because was it like two crew guys on the ladders with buckets of feathers, or was it
Exactly like
CGI?
that. Two crew guys just throwing feathers from the like top of the set, and yeah, sometimes the like most impressive things just made so in a so silly and simple way that that it's funny. But yeah,
Yeah, no, that was very cool. And also, one of my favorite sequences is when Asia, Kevin, and Sharon are crawling through the air ducts. It's
yeah,
very narrow, and we see them from the side. And I mean this as a compliment. It reminded me of Super Mario Brothers because you're
exactly.
seeing them from the left to the right, up to down. How did you do this sequence? Because I imagine it was very tight quarters, like very like the camera guy had to be squished in with them, and the production design was also cool.
A lot of engineering
Mhm.
mind behind it. It's kind of basically we build this set. It's sections. This whole crawling tunnel. It was sections. Each section is, I think, maybe 12 feet long, and there were a lot of them. So we could put them all together in one line. So it were like I don't know, 60 feet long. or we could turn and make turns, and basically it was like a Lego. And also each section had wall that we could remove, so we could have this 2D image of them, and ceiling that so we could put camera from top. So we just like played a lot with we kind of basically every shot we had to rebuild it and change the shape of it and put camera inside or from this side or from this side. And yeah.
That's awesome. And I love the eyeball in this sequence. I won't say whose eyeball it is because that's a spoiler, but can you tell us how you accomplished the VFX of this? And also, did Zazie have anything to react off of?
So basically, eyeball is fully practical. The only VFX on top is kind of the pupil that goes like a little bit like narrows and widen, but it's all just so simple. It's basically a puppet on a rod. We are like on a one stick, and it just rolls around. And it took some time to get to the right quality, but it's just like I think part of why people love it so much and appreciate it, because it's like a little bit cheesy, a little bit kind of clumsy, but also so charming and so nice, just because it's a dummy and you see that it's like practical thing that like moves in a very specific way, and yeah, well, basically it turns to be a like separate character.
Yeah, it does. And I know people are talking to you about the influence of Tarantino and Sam Raimi, but I also want to ask you, are there any Russian filmmakers who influenced this movie? And also, what are some of the best and most underrated Russian movies that people should check out?
Ooh, that's a cool question. uh I mean, a lot. The thing is that the problem now I will face is like difficulties in translation. I'm not sure that I will translate the titles right, but there is an amazing movie called Borderline, which is like Russian Eastern, very strange, very ironic. With I just like I'm a huge fan of spaghetti westerns, so that was like version of that. There is some kind of we have a big great director Balabanov who made these like dark, ironic, and very social movies, but like incredible at the same time. I mean, there are a lot. It's like part of my culture. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and people should go back and watch your previous two movies as
I
well to
mean,
see.
that definitely, yeah.
Yeah, to see the lead up to this. Also, we mentioned Zazie Beetz. This is an amazing cast. You have Tom Felton, Heather Graham, and you have Patricia Arquette, who's been in so many great movies like True Romance and Boyhood. Were you a bit nervous to direct her because she's a
I
legend?
was so nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, that Patricia turned out to be the hardest person for me to work with, not because she's like difficult. She's the charming, the most nicest person you can ever see. It's just because I grew up watching her. I like when I saw True Romance, she was my crush, and I just like and then you meet her in real life, and she's still the same, and I just like a fanboy. And it was so difficult for me to like make this fanboy shut up, and like now we are colleagues. Now we are colleagues. I have to direct her. But it's still kind of it's funny, but it was amazing. It's when you deal with actors of that level and of that like professional level, it just mostly joy, because they give you so much more than you as a director could imagine. They like surprise you all the time, and the characters become so like 3D dimensional and touching and alive. So yeah.
Of course. I think it's always the director is nervous for the actors who are a little older. Like for me, I would be nervous to meet Zazie Beetz because I grew up with Deadpool 2, so she was my crush. But for you, Zazie is like your age, so it's like normal. It's like a
Yeah.
colleague. So yeah, but no, she's Patricia. The whole cast is amazing in this movie.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes. I
Also,
was
yeah,
very lucky with that, because also again what we talked, the movie was very physically challenging, and the fact that all those people just like throw themselves into this grinder and like, yeah, we'll do it, and no matter how hard it was, never like cracked or break down or just did it. It's something rare.
of course, that you don't win an Oscar like Patricia without being like a hard worker. You want to make a
Yeah.
good movie, and even Tom Felton is good because you would never think of him as a comedian, or I don't at
Wait a
least.
second, not even. Tom Felton is just good. He's like one of the nicest person in the world, and he's very funny. That's you absolutely right. I kind of I'm surprised that people don't appreciate him as a comedian. He has such a great sense of humor and he nails it. Like he got the tone so perfectly.
Yeah. Also, I heard you made this movie in South Africa. Did you get to enjoy the country at all while you were there, or was it just busy work, work, work all the time?
I worked so much. I almost didn't see any. I even didn't go to safari once. I haven't time. I was all like sleeping all on the set, sleeping on the set. So unfortunately, but I'm like crew and people I worked with, unbelievable. That
Yeah,
and you see the result again. We worked with a lot of local professionals and like stunt department were local, art department were local, and they they gave 200%. I mean, the movie, if we go any other place, we probably wouldn't be able to achieve all of those goals we put, and the movie would look very different. So I can't appreciate them more. It's like it's really again just like incredible luck.
yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, they give like tax incentives, right? So that helps the movie also.
I
Or
think they
no?
gave a little bit, but also it's just like price wise, we built a lot, right? The entire movie is like kind of sets. So construction wise, it was very good place to go because you don't worry about exterior locations because we didn't have a lot, so you don't have to match it with actual America. But when you're inside, you can build whatever you need.
Exactly. And the production design looks amazing. Were there any inspirations for the Virgil building? Like any references you had for
Oh, a
making the
lot, a
design?
lot.
Yeah.
It's Jeremy Reed, our production designer, who is incredibly talented and like basically visionary. He has like very like creative mindset, and he immediately like also got the tone of it. And like I kind of he has architecture background. He knows like a lot about architecture. So the idea to create a building that like has actual like structure and has like specific look from outside, but also that would feel like exciting inside. He came up with some like really awesome ideas that I kind of also was surprised. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Also, do you think you want to continue making movies in Hollywood now, or do you want to go back and forth between here and Russia? Like,
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. You know, when you get again, when you get access to tools I got, you understand that you can make so much more using them. So of course, I kind of would love to keep going, and I hope people will appreciate this movie and will kind of it will let me keep running.
absolutely. Now you're in the Warner Brothers family, so I think Zazie Beetz is Wonder Woman, and you direct.
That was like incredible.
Yeah. What's your advice to all the young international and also Russian filmmakers who look up to you and want to make the leap to Hollywood like you did?
I think the biggest advice I can give, it's no matter if you want to start like come to Hollywood and start your movie career or just wherever you just want to start your movie career. I think that the biggest advice is write. And that's like it's so hard to find a good script and everybody needs good stories. So if you want to sell yourself as a director, bring the script so people would love the script and hire you to do it. I think that's the most practical thing you can ever do and probably the easiest path into movie making.
And that sounds like what happened with you because sent the script to Andy and Barbara, and then
Yeah.
you
Yep.
directed.
Yep.
And also, it just must like, are you in Los Angeles now or in
Yep.
Russia?
Yep.
You're in LA. So when I drove by the Warner's lot the other day, I saw the billboard for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, how did that make you feel as an immigrant, like coming and succeeding in America? Was that just
I
a
mean, it's
yeah?
incredible. It's so strange. You know, it's just like seeing billboards on the streets, seeing like this movie comes out worldwide. Yeah,
Yeah.
like 60, I think more than 65 countries at the same moment. It's just mind blowing. And you know, the scale of everything, the marketing, when you like see what marketing does with the movie, it's just like unbelievable because the main again after making two movies my small movies the biggest struggle not to make the movie the biggest struggle to sell the movie and make people see it. It's so hard to make people know that this movie exists. So having that kind of amount of attention to your movie is the again best reward you can ever get. Like people will know that it exists, and then it's a they can like it or not like it. It doesn't matter. They like at least you have a chance because you kind of reached out to them.
Absolutely. And I think people will check it out. It's going to be awesome and people should go
Thank
watch it. I'm going to see it again. I'm going to take my friends this time.
thank
Uh,
you.
of course. And I want to thank you for taking the time to do this episode. I hope to have you back on for your next movie.
I
And I
will be
hope,
happy.
thank you. And I hope that everyone goes to watch They Will Kill You playing in cinemas around the world right now. I promise you will have a fantastic time. Go with your friends and family. It's an awesome movie. And before we wrap up, can you please tell everyone where they can find you on social media if they want to keep up to date with everything you have going on?
I mean, I'm not the most active person in social media, but I have an Instagram. It's
It's
yeah, you can find me on Instagram.
awesome. I'll put a link to your Instagram in the description. And that does it for today's episode of the Cinema Flow podcast. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week with more fun movie chats. But until then, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. До свидания.
До свидания.